It's Steve Young. It's Peyton Manning, and they're coming up next. We welcome you to the Bay Area. A simply spectacular October Sunday afternoon, nearly midway point of the 1998 season, and a rare visit here for the Indianapolis Colts as they come west to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Randy Cross. This only the third time the Colts have come west to take on the 49ers since the merger of the AFL and the NFL in 1970, and they come in with a 1-5 mark. Randy, they run into a team that offensively is playing as well as anybody.
Oh, absolutely. And Steve Young's playing the quarterback position better than it's ever been played here in San Francisco. And Joe Montana included, that's really saying something. He's trying to go for a record today for the 6th consecutive game of passing for over 300 yards. And who'll be catching it? Another shock, Jerry Rice, also going for a record. He's going to try to tie Art Monk's record of 183 consecutive games with a catch.
On the other side of the coin, Indianapolis comes in, and this is not a shock. 1-5, really in the beginning of a rebuilding project.
But they're a very upbeat 1-5 because of Peyton Manning and the things that Peyton Manning has done early. He's doing a great job passing the ball. He's making some mistakes, as you can see, with the interceptions, but he's got Marshall Faulk behind him. Marshall Faulk is not running for a great average at 3.3 yards a crack, but they'll run him in the first play. They'll run him a lot early, and that sets up a play action. This team has to play clean. They can't make the mistakes, Vern.
Indianapolis lost the toss. Chris Gardocki getting ready to kick off, and the deep men, Chuck Levy and R.W. McQuarters, there's the rookie from Oklahoma State, had a punt return called back, a touchdown on the punt return called back because of a penalty last week in New Orleans. He is an exciting return man.
It's another thing to look at here for this 49er team is the number of penalties they've committed. 22 were accepted 2 weeks ago against Buffalo, and that's something that drives Steve Mariucci nuts because people associate that with non-disciplined football, and there's nothing he hates worse.
Underway, the kick will be taken by R.W. McQuarters at the 3, across the 20 and down at the 25-yard line. And Steve Young, having a splendid season, comes on at quarterback. 5 games in a row, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And if Jerry Rice catches a pass today, it will be his 183rd consecutive. These are the guys who will be blocking. Jamie Brown has had some problems at left tackle. Garrison Hurst, a good season thus far, and we'll keep our eye on Jerry Rice from the get-go. 3 wide receiver set as Terrell Owens comes on to join the 49ers on the first play from scrimmage. That's Rice in motion. Steve Young goes to his left rather, and it's incomplete. Intended for J.J. Stokes. Defensively, for the Indianapolis Colts, they come in 1-5, and they have really been susceptible to the running game. Up front, Fontenot, McCoy, Johnson, and Berry. There's a change at linebacker. Jeff Herrod could not go because of injury in the middle. Steve Morrison moves there, and Tony Jordan gets his first start. He's a rookie, and the corners Jeff Burris and Tyrone Poole have played pretty well. 2nd down and 10. Hand off Mark Edwards. He comes right and is jammed up after a moderate gain of a yard. Tackle made by Steve Morrison, number 52, and Edwards will give way now to Terrell Owens.
And the Niner offense, when Steve Mariucci gets this thing going, he wants it to be almost like watching a dance. So rhythmic, such as it goes bang and bang, and he's got Steve Young with the pass and Garrison Hurst with the run. And when they get off to tough starts, a lot of the times it's Steve Mariucci by formation, by plays, trying to establish something against the other defense and sort of forgetting about rhythm.
Chuck Levy was a late add to the offensive set, and Garrison Hurst comes wide to the right. That's J.J. Stokes out of the backfield. Here's the pass across the middle to Stokes, and that'll be good for a 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. A gain of 11, 1st down, 49ers.
Well, one thing you've got to be very careful of when you play this San Francisco offense is when you play zone, because Steve Young will absolutely shred a zone defense, and in that case he got zone. He got J.J. Stokes the ball, and if you do it too much, you're going to be giving up so many yards, it's going to kill you. The Indianapolis defense really has to be more aggressive and try to get inside on Steve Young.
Garrison Hurst in a slot to the right side on 1st and 10. Here's Young with a play fake. Comes to J.J. Stokes. He's got it one-on-one. The tackle made by Jeff Burris, number 20. In his first season, of course, as head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Mora, longtime coach in New Orleans, retired to the broadcast booth for a year, and is back a much calmer man.
He really is. That 1 year away from the game, I think, really charged him up. You know, the last year or two in New Orleans were such a miserable experience for him. He seems completely different when you sit down and talk to him, because he knows it's not a win-now situation. It's the future.
Garrison Hurst in motion on 2nd and 3. Play fake. Here's the catch made by Jerry Rice, and he has now tied Art Monk. That's 183 consecutive games in which Jerry Rice has caught a pass. He's tied with Art Monk, all-time National Football League.
When you've got play action going hard to the right, the defense reacts to the offense's right, then you're dragging Jerry Rice back across the side. There's an example of when you're in a zone defense, how susceptible you are to this 49er offense. Because when you react like that, you get out of position on the zones, and it can be deadly.
Here's the handoff to Hurst, and a quick opener at right tackle. He bursts inside the 40. Jeff Burris makes the tackle, but a gain of 9 for Garrison Hurst.
The way this offensive line for San Francisco is built, it's a reaction to what defenses do now. Everybody's got big defensive tackles. So Bob McKittrick, their offensive line coach, has got big offensive guards and centers and athletes at the outside to tackle.
2nd and 1, beg your pardon. A gain of 9 on the last play. And the ball at the 37-yard line. That's Rice in motion. Handoff goes to Hurst. Nothing in the middle, so he'll dart to the corner and picks up another 49er first down inside the 30. A gain of 8. Jeff Burris, number 20, with the tackle.
Garrison Hurst has been such a great addition to this offense because of what he can do here. A play designed to go in besides the lead block of Edwards. He says the heck with it, goes outside and almost gets away with that straight arm on Jeff Burris, putting that hand right in his chops.
Garrison Hurst, who opened the season with a record 96-yard touchdown run in overtime. Game 1 here to defeat the Jets. Back split, Young back to throw. Into the flat it goes. Ankle tackle made on Garrison Hurst as he gets across the 30. Tyrone Poole, number 38, all 5'8", 190 pounds.
Tyrone Poole going against these 49er receivers is a mismatch physically, but he told us yesterday, look, I know they're bigger than me. I know they're stronger than me, but I'm still going to get up. I'm going to jam them. I'm going to get in their faces, and I'm going to take my shots to try to destroy that rhythm we've been talking about of that 49er offense.
Now Tyrone Poole had Garrison Hurst that time. This time he gets Terrell Owens, who runs 6'3". Now Owens in motion and the adjustment made. Play fake. Young flips it away. Couldn't find anybody open and got rid of it. Mark Edwards was in the area.
Especially early against a team like San Francisco, you hear so much about the scripts of this 49er offense. Plays like that, a defense has to be so aware of, and Rusty Tillman's defense did a nice job of not overreacting to what they see, because defenses playing this offense, like Denver's offense, can sometimes kind of hyperventilate, getting excited about how they're going to stuff them early, and they overreact.
On 3rd down, the 49ers go with 4 wide receivers and Levy in the running back spot. Mark Harris has joined the quartet. Young gets time, goes across the middle for Terrell Owens inside the 15. A gain of 15 before Jason Belzer, number 29, makes the tackle.
One of the weaknesses of this defense is in the center of the football field with the safeties, who have to be so aggressive with this bad rushing defense. You can take advantage of their aggressive nature on the run defense with one-on-one matchups like this. They're not great cover guys. Belzer gets hammered there by Owens as he makes that catch.
Jerry Rice, bottom of your screen to the right side. Young looks for Rice, scrambles to his left, being chased. Whittington gets chased, and Young is out of bounds after the run at the 9-yard line. Bernard Whittington, number 95, tried to catch him.
Well, what a nice job, though, by the Indianapolis defense covering all these receivers down the field. Because, look, Jerry Rice is looking at the safeties, trying to get a read of whether or not he can get the ball, or Steve Young is trying to get the ball to Jerry Rice by reading the safeties. They're doing a good job. He can't get the ball to J.J. Stokes. He's covered, you see, right in front of him. Now he's got to run. You didn't see this that much last year out of Steve Young. This is part of the new and expanded offense, with Young not worrying about these concussions and being turned loose.
12 play of the drive, back split, 3 receivers again. Owens in the slot. They hand it on the draw. Garrison Hurst tries to cut inside. Jason Belzer is there with the shoulder and drives him down at the 5, perhaps the 4-yard line.
And part of the problem, as you're seeing, is the rhythm, is the multifaceted part of this offense. And when you've got a good lead blocker right there by Chuck Levy, 32, the halfback, lead blocking for Hurst, that sets it all up. But you're talking about, do we worry about the run? Do we worry about the slot receiver, the outside receiver?
A lot of options.
It's not easy to defend this offense.
3rd and 1 at the 4. And a whistle prior to the snap would indicate a timeout call by the Indianapolis Colts. So they burn one of their 3. A long sustained drive. And we're in the midst of it. The San Francisco 49ers will have 3rd down when we return. Third and 1 at the 4 with 8:28 to go in the first quarter. This the 13th play of the drive.
And this is the part of the field that Steve Young and Jerry Rice seem to hook up every single game. It hasn't been. I mean, it's 78 touchdowns together, one short of the record held by Marino and Clayton. But it seems like when you see Jerry Rice in motion, he's getting the ball.
He is in the slot to the left now on 3rd down. They hand it off up the middle. Garrison Hurst. That will be a fresh series of downs for the 49ers. It'll be 1st and goal after Hurst gets 2. Well, Jim Morris saying one way to stay in this game is to force them to go 3 and out and eat some of the clock yourself.
Well, Jim Mora is seeing Steve Mariucci do something that this football team has to do against the better teams. I mean, Jim Mora knows that this is a big play offense. What he really doesn't want to see, though, is just killing this clock with these long drives.
And another whistle prior to the snap. Referee today is Walt Coleman. And the Colts. Wow.
Second team timeout.
Whoa.
That was not Jim Mora's idea, and that reaction tells you that. That's a waste.
Colts have 1 timeout left.
Only 10 players on the field. That's why the timeout was called by Jason Belzer.
And
that's
now
a dumb mistake.
1st and goal. Hand off on the sweep to Garrison Hurst. Nice defensive play to drive him out of bounds. Tyrone Poole.
Well, you want to talk about his size? You know, 5'8". Is he willing to get up there and get physical? I mean, he had a wide receiver blocking in his face. He does not let that bother him. See, Mark Edwards, the fullback, will lead you to the ball against this offense. Had Big Ray Brown try to get a block on Tyrone Poole, but he just filled up and made a first-class open field tackle.
Well, the Colts are thin at linebacker coming in, and they've got an injured linebacker on the ground now at the 3-yard line, Elijah Alexander. Jeff Harrod supposed to start at the middle, unable to go because of an injury, though he is suited up. And now Alexander, who might be the best of the remaining linebackers out there, is down in his 7th year from Kansas State.
I'm not exactly positive if they would not be better off with more defensive backs and less linebackers anyway. They're short on linebackers, but you know, Jim Mora's defense has got to change things up so much against this offense. Maybe playing more defensive backs, obviously not in the goal line situation, but that would be a lot better idea against this offense.
Coming Monday, it's a special hour of back-to-back Raymond. The series Entertainment Weekly calls one of the 100 greatest of all time. Everybody Loves Raymond, Monday on CBS, starting at 9 o'clock, 8 Central. Okay, it's going to move once more. There we are. Oh, boy, Ray Romano's having enough. You won't. Elijah Alexander, the injured player, at the 3-yard line. Andre Royal has already come on the field. He'll take his place.
And one thing unusual today in the Bay Area, it's just a beautiful day, but it's actually warm down there on the field. They said it was a high of 70 today. It's in the 80s down there on that football field.
Well, those who live here say October is among the best months. And it's been gorgeous today.
You know, as good as the weather is, they still can't get that sodded grass to look good.
No.
They sod that infield here at Candlestick Park. You know, the baseball giants play here, and it is just ugly. Always has been, though. There's no real newness there. See, there's a sodded area, the lighter green. It's been rolled, it's been stamped. But it is still a situation where you have a tough time with your footing. Right in the middle of the screen, number 50 right here, Elijah Alexander. He's being blocked by Mark Edwards off that lead block, and then he just falls down to the ground.
So Elijah Alexander over on the Colt bench. It'll be 2nd down and goal at the 3. Opening drive of the game. And we've chewed up almost half the first quarter. Jerry Rice is in the lineup and in motion. Play fake. Young pulls up, looks, scrambles, still looks, and still runs. He's down at the 3-yard line.
That might have been one of the better defensive fire drills I've seen in a while, because again, Indianapolis ran a player late onto the field. What is it about goal line defense? You can't figure out. You might be able to do it better with 11 guys, but they've got Steve Young's receivers covered down the field from the get-go. He had Owens and Rice to the left. They had those guys covered with 3 receivers from the start. He has nowhere to go, and good filling up job by this defense, who did this all on the run, folks, believe me. Well, see, now you got to understand, he's waving for the ball. Jerry Rice has never not been open.
Jerry Rice wide right. 3rd and goal. Backs in the eye. Blitz coming, and another whistle prior to the snap. So the play negated, and Walt Coleman will let us know what happened.
Snap. False start. 83 of the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
J.J. Stokes, and of course I think everybody around the country knows about the penalty situation with the 49ers. They were flagged 27 times in Buffalo, 22 were accepted, and 14 more last week.
And that qualifies as your basic dumb mistake. That's not a mistake of effort. That's a mistake because, you know, you're just not thinking. And offsides and false starts, as you can see, as the #1 penalty team, is the one that's always killed team across the bay in Oakland and is now really plaguing these Niners.
Stokes in motion on 3rd and goal from the 8. Young, good. Oh, no. He's still up. Now he's not. Al Fontenot was the first there, and Young is down. Well, you see him down, you think concussion.
Well, his protection, Vern, looked good to start with, but Bernard Whittington coming around on a game right there, number 99, not Whittington, it's Al Fontenot getting that penetration, and Steve Young just gets collared and dragged down. I don't think that's anything serious for Steve Young, but that's a mistake you don't see that offensive line make often for the 49ers.
And at the end of all of that, Wade Ritchie, the rookie, is going to come on and try a field goal. He is 6 of 10 for the year.
This is a win for the Colts to hold this team to a field goal after a long drive.
Okay, easy.
It's an especial win and brings to mind Wade Ritchie's nickname at Louisiana State. They called him Wide Ritchie. There is a flag down at the 15-yard line. Time has been called. Flag was thrown on the unsuccessful field goal. It was thrown after the kick. It was a personal foul on Ray Brown of the 49ers. So the 15-yard foul was tacked on from the point of the kick, and all of that comes to naught.
Exactly. And on the sideline, you see Bob McKittrick there with the glasses on his forehead and the headset, who is doing the whole thing as far as what happened on that protection.
After the kick was over, penalty is assessed from the 20-yard line. 1st down for Indianapolis.
And so Peyton Manning, #1 draft pick this season, 22 years of age, from New Orleans and Tennessee. And he'll be joined up front by Glenn McKinney, Leuenberg, Manrich, and Meadows. Marshall Faulk has been Mr. Everything offensively for the Colts. Here's the handoff to Falk and the sweep to the left side. Breaks the tackle. Cuts back. He's got some room. There are no flags. He's being chased by Darnell Walker. It's a foot race. Falk is in for the touchdown. A 65-yard electrifying moment on the first play for Marshall Falk.
Want to talk about the best possible way Jim Mora thought he could start with this football game against Steve Mariucci's Niners? Hold them scoreless when they really should have had some points. They missed the kick, and first play, you see non-aggressive, sloppy tackling, a missed tackle there by a 49er, some good downfield blocking by the Indianapolis Colts wide receivers, and just Marshall Falk by the hair on his chinny chin getting in there right at the pylon.
Marshall Falk told us last night he is as healthy as he has been really since his first year in college.
And he is this offense right now.
Vanderjagt with the extra point. Mike Vanderjagt, the elderly rookie. He's 28 years of age, played in Canada a couple of years. But the story here, the career longest run from Marshall Falk. Another sellout crowd here at 3Com Park. Stunned. Marshall Falk, 65 yards for the first touchdown of the game. In 1994, he rumbled one 52 yards against Houston. That had been his previous career long.
That was just flat out good execution by Indianapolis, and incredibly sloppy and overreacting defense by the 49ers, who made such a point the other day saying, we just have to stop the big plays. We'll be all right. Duh.
Here's R.W. McQuarters at the 7. That's a short kick. And McQuarters loses his balance and is down at the 25.
Watch the critical block here, though. This is Dilger, 85, the tight end in motion. Why is it the critical block? He's going to get a little ding on Chris Dolman, who is the only 49er to lay a hand on Marshall Falk that entire run. Look at that block downfield by Harrison. Just smashes Walker, the backside corner. Just wonderful execution and bad defense by San Francisco. Best case scenario start for Jim Mora.
And the 49ers open their second offensive set with a handoff inside to Garrison Hurst. He moves up to the 29-yard line.
And this is really a test, I think, for the 49ers going against the Colts, because remember 2 weeks ago the 49ers made all those penalties, got off to a terrible start against Buffalo, and lost at Buffalo, which maybe isn't that bad considering Buffalo beat Jacksonville earlier today on CBS. But San Francisco's got the rhythm, but they're making the dumb mistakes that drive Mariucci nuts.
Second down and 6. Young back, pumps. Has some pressure from the backside. They got him. Berry got there first. Bertrand Berry, the second-year man from Notre Dame. That is his second sack of the season.
You know, Burt Berry's a defensive end that was a linebacker in college. But look at the pump fake. The defense not overreacting. Steve Young's got nowhere to go, and he never even sees Burt Berry. Nice job by Young of guarding the football, because Berry could have very easily stripped it out from the backside.
Loss of 3. It's 3rd and 9, and the 49ers go with the triple receiver set, and Chuck Levy's in the backfield. Only a two-man rush, a little zone blitz out of the backfield. Here comes Levy, and a missed tackle from Monty Montgomery, number 34, allows Levy the extra yardage and a first down.
Just a little sneak route by Levy, who's in the backfield and just sort of tries to weave his way through the big guys. Watch him just sort of weave and weave and weave and weave. This is just the back's job, is to avoid the big people so he can cut across the field. See, Levy starts at that right halfback, cuts across, almost hits the umpire. And now we talked about bad defense and bad tackling earlier. That's some bad tackling by Indianapolis, who had to play defense.
First down and 10. Edwards, Young rather. Here comes the rush. They got him. Steve Morrison coming on the blitz. And Anthony Jordan was also there.
Yeah, I think just in body language, Steve Young has had just about enough of this right now for this start, in the way he's already been put on the ground a couple times. Very soft corner. very soft corner. Outside linebacker not blocked. Inside linebacker not blocked. That is a mental mistake. I guarantee you Steve Mariucci did not come into this game with an offensive game plan that had free linebackers running in his backfield in it on Steve Young.
Loss of 6. That's 4 sacks already. Young had been sacked only 11 times in the previous 5 games. Here's Young into the flat. Levy again. And good defensive pursuit forces him out of bounds. Jeff Burris was right there. It'll be 3rd down. And murmurs from the crowd. Check out the official NFL website for live play-by-play and statistics from every game. Plus log on Monday morning for Week 7 highlights and recaps at www.nfl.com.
Well, this crowd is probably one of the NFL's definitions of spoiled, having seen such great football for 20 years. And, you know, they're used to the fact that, you know, their quiche hasn't gotten cold yet, and the Niners are usually on the board for a couple touchdowns.
A fine Montrachet. 3rd and 18. Young deep left side. Man coverage. Poole is there to knock it away from Jerry Rice. And Young is on his back at the 20-yard line. 4 sacks already, and he was belted then.
For all the joy and all the excitement Steve Young came into this game with and the style of play, Indianapolis and Jim Mora are just going somewhere right under his chin and bringing blitzes, and linemen are smacking him. Steve Mariucci better fix this, or we'll see a lot of Ty Detmer.
Tyrone Poole waits for Reggie Roby's punt on 4th down. That one hangs up. Poole is going to let it bounce. That was tipped by a Colt, and here we go down the sideline. It was tipped by a Colt. And Jason Belzer picked it up. A 51-yard return. Poole waved his teammates off.
Jim Mora is seeing his football team in white be the smart team, and Steve Young's football team is not being the smart team. And Steve Mariucci right now has gone through a couple layers of enamel on his teeth, because I guarantee you folks, he is grinding him. That was another dumb mistake by that coverage team. Don't assume anything.
Second play from scrimmage. Peyton Manning changing. Hands it off to Falk. They'll test the middle. Inside the 5 at the 4. Well, it was one of the Colts. Let's go back and look at it again, Randy, who touched it.
Reggie Roby gets off a fairly decent effort punt-wise, and the coverage team starts hitting it. Now watch where it hits. Right there, right off the top of the helmet of the outside gunner. Gets off the helmet, bounces to Belzer. That's part bad coverage and an awful lot of luck.
Peyton Manning rolls right. Freelancing has a man wide open in the end zone. Harrison for the touchdown. A 4-yard play as Harrison got loose. He got behind Antonio Langham, who has been victimized time and time again in this 98 season.
Watch the beginning of the route. This is how, if you're a defender, you play this part of the route. Now the quarterback scrambles. Harrison adjusts. Defensive back slides out of bounds. You want to talk about a dull thud opening for a very confident football team in San Francisco. And these guys led by Peyton Manning, especially on offense, have got an awful lot of spring in their step for Indianapolis.
Vanderjack's extra point is up and good. A 51-yard return by Jason Belzer after one of his teammates quite literally used his head. Colts have won one. It came at home against San Diego, and they have shocked this 3-com crowd by going up 14-0 in the first quarter. R.W. McQuarters to the left, Chuck Levy to the right, ready to return yet another kickoff from the Indianapolis Colts. This one, another short kick by Gardocki, is taken by McQuarters at the 13-yard line. And he is knocked down by Jordan at the 29-yard line. Anthony Jordan, who got the start at linebacker today.
We talked earlier about how clean that Colt team had to play to stay in a game with San Francisco, and really this Colts defense and offense have played very clean, and sort of the opposite of clean is what happens here once again on this punt. You see Reggie Roby's punt will come down. Watch the right side of the screen. You've got the gunner for the San Francisco punt team running down, and Rico Clark right there, number 27 in white. Ball off the top of his head. Obviously a heads-up play, you might say, on both sides by Ian Belcher.
Here's Garrison Hurst across the middle.
Easy, guys. Easy.
And a little fracas, quiet fracas with Kevin Gogan, a part of it. Well, let's check in on the sideline with the third member of our commentary team, Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Vern, well, there's no question that the 49ers came into this game very loose, and many members of the Colts told me no matter what the Niners say, there is no way they're not taking us lightly. So we're going to go out there, we're going to do our best, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. They've done just that, Vern.
All right, Michelle, indeed, second down and 7. Here's Young, pumps once, comes into the right side, and Garrison Hurst was not ready for it. Whoa.
Yeah, I think Michelle's all over the fact of what kind of a preparation schedule there was here for the 49ers from a mental standpoint. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. And San Francisco right now seems to have come into this game arrogant and are paying for it. Tyrone Poole, look at that. Physical, stop the timing, and frustrate Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice can be physically frustrated by a football player. It's exactly what Tyrone Poole told us last night, and so far he's doing it.
And the key, Randy, in part, jamming those receivers at the line. Now here goes Rice, and the pass. Whoa, boy.
Oh, Robert Blackman had one right there. This offense, you talk about the rhythm. They're dancing like Clydesdales right now. There's not much rhythm to this offense. It's kind of clippity-clop, clippity-clop. And at what point of your hot quarterback career, how many times do you think Steve Young, when he was 12 years old, heard that? Try not to throw back across your body into the middle of the field. He almost paid for it.
Low snap, Roby.
Let him go, let him go.
Tyrone Poole will return this, takes it at the 18-yard line, and is cut down as he gets to the 16. How about this one? 25. Well, I wouldn't be dancing if it was 20, 14-0.
You're down 14 zip. You celebrate that? Give me a break. That's stupid.
Next Saturday on NASDAQ College Football, Sean Alexander leads the Crimson Tide against Tennessee's double threat T. Martin, or Santana Moss sparks the Hurricanes in a Big East bash with Amos Zeraway and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Check your local listings next week. This will be the 4th play from scrimmage for the Colts. They lead at 14-0. Manning back, pumps once, goes deep, has a man, Harrison. Catch is made, no. Now they're going to rule no catch. Antonio Langham defending.
Antonio Langham, when we talked to him Friday, knew full well they were going to come after him. They've come after him a couple of times. They had him on a slip for a touchdown. There's Langham's going to be at the top of your screen at corner right there. Harrison's wide open. Manning gives him the ball perfectly, and Langham does a great job of ripping that ball out. There's a nice look at it right there. He's got the ball. He's about to hug it, and Langham rips it out.
I'm not so sure he didn't have possession.
Maybe so briefly.
Yeah. 2nd and 10. Falk, big hole. And he scoots out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. That's another big gain. Burton Hanks and Winford Tubbs.
Vern, let me get to my stats here, but watch this section of the field. Tariq Glenn right there at left tackle. Now, which one of these defenses came in here as the worst rushing defense in the NFL? Great lead block by Craig Hayward on Ken Norton at inside linebacker. Nice job by Glenn at left tackle leading. I mean, they have got the Niner defense, came in smug, and now there's getting mugged.
1st and 10 after the 11-yard gain. Final moments of the first quarter. It's been a shocker. Here's Manning, wings it, has a man open at the 39-yard line. The catch is made. Marvin Harrison again. That's a pickup of 13 yards and another Indianapolis first down. That's the end of the first quarter with our score. I kid you not. 14-zip Indianapolis. We'll return to 3Com Park after this message and a word from your local station. We begin quarter number 2. The Colts have a first down and 10 at their own 40 and a 14-0 lead. And Craig Hayward, new to the team, anticipates the snap count and starts a little prematurely.
Prior to the snap, false start, 33 in the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
You could say it was a new cadence or a new voice for Jim Mora's new fullback, Hayward. You know, Craig Hayward, the only voices he was hearing were starters on golf courses for the last couple of weeks as he sat back saying, okay, which team am I going to during this sort of inflicted holdout with the St. Louis Rams.
Now, we chatted with him briefly last night. He does look slimmed down.
Yeah, he is. He's eaten half of everything.
Yeah.
So how'd you lose it? He goes, well, I ate half a piece of chicken or half a salad or half a piece of fish.
He had a half a sushi last night. Half an order of sushi, painful. Right? Yeah. Here's Manning and Marvin Harrison in front of Antonio Langham. Langham came over as an unrestricted free agent after 4 years with the Ravens and the Browns. To say that he's had a troubled start in San Francisco is to put it very politely.
And he's gotten a lot of help from the guys around him, but he's getting no help from Harrison and Manning, who are coming into this game saying we're going after you. And there's a case of Harrison making a beautiful field level catch there of that pass from Peyton Manning. But 14-0, you're down to a Colt team. Langham and this defense can't let these guys puff up anymore. I mean, this offense is starting to think they're pretty good.
2nd and 6. Colts by 14. Left side and another completed pass. This one in front of Darnell Walker, and it was caught by Jerome Pathan, the rookie from Washington. Tuesday on Jag, they were hardened soldiers in war, but now something is pushing Vietnam vets over the edge. Catch an all-new episode of TV's fastest growing drama, Jag, Tuesday on CBS. Peyton Manning 4 of 5, and his team up by 14 on the road in 3Com Park with a 1st and 10 at the 49 or 47-yard line. A lot of protection inside, tipped and incomplete. It was Langham who made the play then on Marvin Harrison. Langham said last week they were down in New Orleans. He had had a particularly difficult game in the loss in Buffalo, and during warm-ups he said Steve Young came up to him, looked him in the eye, and said, listen to me, there's no place you're going that I haven't been. Listen to me again. There's no place you're going where I haven't been. I believe in you, and I think you'll play well. Meant a lot to him.
Hey, and that was a nice play there on that isolation. I mean, but he's going to be tested over and over, and mostly deep.
Here's the sweep to Falk, and he's down to the 42-yard line. That will bring up a first down at the San Francisco. Might give him the 41.
What this is really creating, though, the Marshall Falk factor, looking at the way this offense is moving, is the situations for Peyton Manning that they really want. You think that isn't a little inflated by that one long run? But when you're averaging 20 yards a crack, you got a pretty good shot at having an effective offense. But it's getting the offense and Peyton Manning into these shorter situations. They're used to 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. You can work with 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
And a 14-0 lead. They'll go out of the shotgun. Jay Lewinberg will snap it back. 49ers threaten the blitz. They're bringing 4. And Manning has a lot of time and puts it low and catchable at the 25. And this time it's Torrance Small. A 15-yard gain, and Peyton Manning is having a lot of time to find his receivers.
Torrance Small coming out of the slot. But watch what he does and where he gets this ball from Peyton Manning. There's no way Walker, 38 the corner, has any shot at getting that. Peyton Manning's ball control and placement right now is right on, because he gave that 6'3 receiver Small the ball where only he could catch it.
Backs in the eye, first down. Here's Falk. It was Lamont Warren who had come in on that play, number 21.
Shane Bonham, number 78, made part of that play too. He's been out for the 49ers, had a bicep problem in his arm. In fact, you see that great big brace he's got on that left arm. It's one of those mechanical contraptions you see now. A guy can come back in 4 weeks and play with a brace where it might have had to wait 6 weeks in the past to have the proper brace and the proper support around it.
Second down and 8. 14-0. Indianapolis leads. Early moments, second quarter. Manning across the middle to a wide open Marshall Faulk to the 10. First and goal, Colts.
Vern, if you thought the natives here were getting a little bit restless after that last touchdown, watch what happens here when this defense opens up inside. Watch the inside of the defense as Marshall Faulk comes out of the backfield position. Just a little circle route. Defense in man. There's nobody to drop off for Marshall Faulk. This defense of San Francisco is making Peyton Manning and Marshall Faulk and his receivers look awfully good.
Colts threaten again. First and goal at the 6. This their first sustained drive. That's Lamont Warren in motion. Manning goes in the corner. Oh, baby. That could have gone 99 to the north.
Walker, 38. Darnell Walker has had 4 of those this year where he's got his hands on balls. And John Marshall, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, says what we're not doing now is when we get a chance to make a play, we're not making the play. We're knocking down the balls that should be caught to stop a drive. Will this cost the 49er defense? We're going to find out, but that should have been an interception.
Pathan goes left. Lamont Warren stays in the backfield. The 12th play of the drive for the Colts. Manning looks right all the way. Got it. Touchdown. Harrison gets another grab of 6 yards. His second touchdown today. And the Colts lead the 49ers 20-0.
I'm not sure if this 49er team has much panic in it, but if you got any giddy-up juice on that sideline, you better start spreading it around, because the Dull Thud Award for this Sunday is going to the San Francisco 49ers, who, after not intercepting the last ball, pay for it on the next play with a touchdown by Harrison.
Defending again, Antonio Langham, whose long days continue. The extra point is up and hammered through, so they have done it 3 ways now. They had a 65-yard run for a touchdown by Faulk, a punt return off a guy's head of 51, and now a 13-play drive for 7. Shockingly, the guys in red find themselves down 21-0.
Because of what Peyton Manning's doing. I talked about ball placement and where he's putting his passes. That's not the prettiest pass. It's got a little wobble on it, but it's in the perfect spot for Harrison to catch, and Antonio Langham can't do anything about it.
Gardocki to kick off again, and it's another short one taken by R.W. McQuarters. He's got some room, and he's spilled at the 32-yard line. So the San Francisco 49ers, with 10:47 to go first half, trail at home by 21. Well, when those guys on the cable car hear this score, they're going to fall off. 21-0. You can count me as shocked.
Absolutely. But, you know, Steve Mariucci says, I hate to hear the word undisciplined associated with my football team. This is an arrogant, undisciplined football team early in this football game, and they are paying the price as they should.
Now they find a hole. Here's Young. He finds his tight end, Clark. Second catch of the season for Greg Clark. Last week he caught a touchdown grab of 1 yard. And that's good to move the chains out to the 47-yard line is where they'll put it. Now, talking with the Colts last night, they said there's no way they don't overlook us.
They had to, and it looks like it, Vern. You know, and to hear them say it was like, yeah, but, you know, you're probably right, but they seemed ready. We were pretty wrong on that.
Rice and Owens, top of the screen. This is Jerry Rice in motion. Young settles into the flat. One-on-one. The tackle is broken. Garrison Hurst had been caught behind the line by Steve Morrison, but he broke the tackle and picks up 17.
And this is something you're going to see more and more as the season goes on in this offense with Garrison Hurst. You know, he comes in with 481 yards rushing, but he's got 259 yards receiving. And Steve Young last week worked him into the game plan in the middle of the field with the screen passes. Here he breaks Morrison's tackle, gets down the field on the outside. Don't be fooled, though. The Niners got a little lucky on that pass. Morrison was almost there to knock it down and intercept it.
Back-to-back big pass plays. And the 49ers have a first down. Here's Young. Jerry Rice. Somebody slipped up. I don't think you leave him uncovered. But that's where he was. That's a gain of 11.
And also sometimes a game plan or a specific play call can make a player become uncovered. This is a play that starts out Jerry Rice in the slot right in here. The play starts out as a quick sprint to the left, and then you just see the linebackers dropping and dropping, and Jerry Rice just flattens out when he feels that. That is a feel play by the receiver and his quarterback.
Backs in the eye. Third big pass play in succession. Play fake. Young hopes they bite, and he goes for Rice, who's double covered. Robert Blackman was inside the 10 on Jerry Rice, who now is going to make an official complaint.
Well, yeah, he's now going into his official plea to the official. Don't you know who I am? Those guys aren't allowed to pull and push on me. I'm the guy that pulls and pushes here and gets away with it. Tyrone Poole disrupting the rhythm, getting a hit in. He got away with a grab there. That was a grab by Poole, but he's physically getting into the receiver's head. That's what he wanted to do in this game.
And Tyrone Poole said last night during a brief conversation, word is you can get his mind off the game if you can muscle him at the line. Here's Young, who's been sacked 4 times already, getting rid of it over the head of Terrell Owens. And let's check in once again with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Vern, the Colts were worried about depth at linebacker. As you said, they've taken a big hit. Elijah Alexander, who was hurt in the first quarter, is out for the remainder of the game with a separated shoulder. Guys, back up to you.
Not good news. Alexander in his 7th year from Kansas State.
And actually has been making the plays. Bill Polian, the general manager at Indianapolis, now says of all our defenders, a guy that, you know, really is a guy making the plays and can play for more than a couple teams in the league is Elijah Alexander.
Young under pressure. Dances backwards. He is chased. Gets a great block way back and now lets it go incomplete in the end zone. Derek Deese really got a block back at the 45.
All 5 of the offensive linemen for the 49ers ended up on a knee. But watch Derek Deese lined up at the right tackle the whole way. This offensive line has to work. There's nothing open. He's going to scramble. And this is a situation for a lineman. It's kind of a nightmare. You don't know where the quarterback's going to be. See the great block by Deese. You just got to keep blocking. You don't know how long, and that gets tired.
Ritchie from 43 yards away has plenty of distance and knocks this one home. So he missed a short kick at the end of a 16-play game opening drive, but he does get the 49ers on the board. Back to play now as Wade Ritchie gets set to kick off. 21-3 midway through the second quarter. The Colts playing here for the first time since 1986 and only the 3rd time since 1970. Lamont Warren waits for the kickoff.
Colts defense again holds that 49er offense to a field goal attempt on the first one.
That's a short kick. Takes a bounce at the 5. Lamont Warren has it and runs into a nice open field tackle. Reggie Gibbons makes the stop. The 49ers, for the 2nd time, put together a lengthy drive. This time they get something out of it. A 43-yard field goal after 7 plays in 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Now the Colts, 1st and 10.
And this is a situation now you're going to see a little something else of Peyton Manning. It's one thing to have the rhythm and everything's going great and you're getting the ball down the field. Now you're facing a defense and you're backed up on the road. How do you react to this extra noise and the extra pressure?
Yet to be sacked in this game, has not been sacked in the last 2 prior to this one. Play fake, has time. Across the middle, it's caught by Falk. He's out to the 12-yard line. Marshall Falk has had a big game thus far.
Hey, Jim Morris says, hey, look, first play of the game, I'm running Marshall Falk. What's he do? Breaks 1 tackle by Chris Dolman and goes the rest of the way for the touchdown. Another great run later on a next drive. A nice pass reception over the middle of the field on a good circle route. Right now, he's not all the offense, but he's sure a big old chunk.
Twin sets to the left side on 2nd down and 7. High formation. They'll hand it to Falk. Dances to his left and gets across the 15 down to the 16-yard line. That'll leave him 4 yards short of a first down. 21-3. The 49ers went 16 plays in the length of the field and missed a chip shot field goal to open the game. And then on their first play from scrimmage, Falk went 65 for the score. They held the 49ers. There was a punt that hit the top of Rico Clark's head, returned 51 yards by Jason Belzer. That set up a short pass. Harrison got it. And then Harrison another one.
They played clean and then they played smart. Here's another smart test.
3rd and 4. 4-man rush by the 49ers. The pass is tipped and incomplete. Intended for Torrance Small, number 87. So 3 and out for the Colts. Darnell Walker was the defender closest to the ball.
Now you put your punt team in a situation. Chris Gardocki, number 17 there, is just going to have to pound this just to get it out of Colt territory.
And punt coverage has not been a strong point for Indianapolis. Gardocki's had 12 of his punts returned for an average of 16 yards per. And R.W. McQuarters can really counterpunch. Here's McQuarters at the 31. Flag is down back at the line of scrimmage. So if it stands, it's a 53-yard punt and a 9-yard return, but it's going to be a holding call against the Colts. And the 49ers probably will want to take another chance with this.
Just playing the percentages, you have a football team kick this one again, 5 yards or 10 yards, half the distance of the goal line, backed up. Now you're kicking out of your end zone. It's a worse situation for your punter. You definitely make him do it again.
Holding, number 40 of the offense. Half the distance. Repeat, 4th down.
McElroy, Ray McElroy, the guilty party. Well, a Colt team that comes in here 17.5-point underdogs, and they have shocked everybody. Jim Mora's team up 21-zip. They just yielded a field goal. Now let's take a look at the hold.
Watch the right side of the punt team. There's the number 40 there for the Indianapolis Colts, making the hold on that play. Exactly why it was Ray McElroy was flagged, was for that grab. But now the premium is on a quick, accurate snap and getting the ball out of this end zone.
Bradford Bantha is the man who will snap it back. And the Gardocki punt. Returnable. McQuarters at the 45. Gets a block. And a nice saving tackle is made by the Colts. Andre Royal, number 56. That's a 47-yard punt and 10 on the return. But the 49ers will open up their offense in good shape. 6 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the opening half of play at 3Com Park, San Francisco. Steve Young and the 49ers have a 1st and 10 at the Indianapolis 46-yard line, and they go with 4 wide receivers. Young 10 of 18 for 95 yards. The negative, he's been sacked 4 times already. 2 left, 2 right. 1 linebacker for the Colts. Ball play, Garrison Hurst. And he's got a big opening. Bumps into his own man who was providing a downfield block at the 35-yard line. It was J.J. Stokes. But Hurst picks up 13 yards.
And much like with the Denver Broncos, the 49er receivers are some of the best blockers in the league down the field. But this is set up by Kevin Gogan at right guard, getting a nice block, as did Derek Deese at right tackle, working on Fontenot. That opened things wide open, and you know, Garrison Hurst got back there about 10 yards deep before he saw somebody else in another jersey.
Twin receivers to the right. The handoff to Hurst, who comes over left guard.
Easy, guys.
Picks up enough to get inside the 30 to the 28. Jamie Brown at that left tackle spot, number 72. Dave Fiore out with an injury, but surprisingly, they think he might be back.
He was out running around doing pass sets and whatnot. They're looking at the middle of November, but Jamie Brown was acquired from Denver for a 2nd-round draft choice and got off to a very bad start, you know, whether by injury or attitude or whatever. The only reason he's in here is because they really need an offensive tackle. I don't know if he's the athlete they need, but I think in about another 2 weeks, you're going to see Kirk Strafford back on this offensive line for 49ers.
Here's a pass into the flat. Terrell Owens, one-on-one, tries to shake the tackle and gets to the 21-yard line. Tyrone Poole, number 38. Well, a doubleheader for you next week. The NFL on CBS. Game 1, Baltimore goes into Green Bay, and Randy and I will be in Miami, the New England-Miami game. Then in Game 2, most of you will see the once-beaten Jacksonville Jaguars against the Denver Broncos, who have a bye week today and are sitting at home getting ready for them.
You don't think Jacksonville was thinking about Denver today at all, do you?
Nah. Here's Hurst. Breaks a tackle. Morrison finally has him. Blackman came up number 25 and had a clean shot at Garrison Hurst, but he slipped right through his arms.
So often when you talk about running backs, you talk about their speed and their shiftiness and their moves. Watch nice blocking on the right side as Deese blocks down. Edwards gets a lead block, but look at the strength of the legs of Garrison Hurst. That's what keeps them up. It's not the speed, it's not the shiftiness. It's those legs are so strong and powerful, you can't get in there with an arm tackle.
55 yards for the day. Here's Hurst, dances to his left and picks up a 1st and goal. San Francisco. Andre Royal, number 56, made the tackle. But the 49ers trying to climb out of this deep hole. They found themselves down 21-0. Now they trail by 18. Steve Mariucci.
Well, it's not exactly a stealth drive either for Steve Mariucci. This is pure, we're going to smack you in the face. We're going to use our big guys inside, and we're going to run the ball with Garrison Hurst and try to settle down all the other aspects, the pass protection, the miscommunication with the receivers, the jamming of the receivers.
Rice is left. Young pumps right, goes right into the end zone. Incomplete. J.J. Stokes covered by Jeff Burris.
You don't think Steve Young has worked with this group of receivers much, do you, and doesn't know his guys just physically perfectly? Now, as you watch Stokes make this route, a little quick, little pump, working against Burris. The ball's in the air now. Steve Young has already said, here comes the ball. You better get around him to catch it. Is that ball placement? Not bad defense by Burris. J.J. Stokes should have had that one. That was perfectly placed by Steve Young.
2nd and goal. Now Jerry Rice starts in motion. Young fires for Rice, cuts inside, breaks one tackle, and is down at the 5. Andre Royal made the initial contact, and Rice managed to pick up 3 yards after that stop. Robert Blackman completed it.
Yeah, but Vern, if you're the Indianapolis defense, you're tickled to death that Jerry Rice is running around in front of you and not running through your defense or around your defense. You would much rather have him doing this and then trying to make something happen than just carving through a defense, running around free where Steve Young can find him.
In week 3, Rice and Young collaborated for a touchdown. They've been blank since. The next one will tie Marino and Clayton. This one's going the other direction. It's picked off. And here goes Jay Burris. A flag is down in the end zone. Burris being chased by Young, who catches him and hauls him out of bounds. There is a flag a yard deep. So hold the celebration.
Vern, this could go either way. There was a lot of pushing and shoving going on from both guys in that end zone, but it's going to go against the Colts, I think.
Holding.
The title on that picture, Jim Mora, would be, I beg to differ.
Words I did not use on network television.
But Jim Mora's defense is playing physical. They're playing in your face all over these 49er receivers. Earlier we saw Poole get away with a little bit of a tug on Jerry Rice. And now they're going to be flagged for this pass interference in the end zone.
That's Dick Creed, the field judge, who is catching the words. Here's Walt Coleman.
Holding on the defense, number 20. Half the distance, automatic 1st down.
Jim Mora all the way down to the 20-yard line. Keep an eye on Jeff Burris, working on Terrell Owens. Owens initiates the contact. No, sorry. Sorry. What is Jeff Burris supposed to do? Back up for as long as Terrell Owens wants to back up? Jim Moore is absolutely correct. That was not pass interference. I don't care any way you color it. And that should have gone back the other way for Jeff Burris and the Colts.
Well, a holding call on Burris gives San Francisco a 1st and goal. Backs in the eye. Garrison Hurst hit and dropped. He didn't gain an inch. Andre Royal and Robert Blackman, numbers 56 and 25. Another look at Owens and Burris.
Well, you got to really say, when you're talking about pass interference and in defense of these defensive backs, you know, how much of that contact is initiated by the offensive player, not the defensive player? That is a bad call and should not have been made.
2 minutes to go, first half. (21-3), but the 49ers threatening. And coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, we'll go back to New York. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and Coach Seifert. Scores and highlights of all the games around the league. Rusty Tillman, defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, no doubt in disagreement with that last call.
Right there, yeah, it was a bad call, but you got to put that behind you. You got to say no, it doesn't matter. This is the play you attack.
Rice in motion. Young pulls up, pumps, throws it deep in the end zone. Caught it, but out of bounds. And there's a conference.
There's going to be a conference.
Yeah, they may rule that he would have come down. That's the nature of the debate. Had he not been pushed, he might have come down inbounds.
I like the consultation idea sometimes, but too much of this just sends a message that we're hesitant and we're not really sure.
Now Walt Coleman joins the debate.
Well, as you take a look at what's going on that play, it was a situation where, you know, J.J. Stokes is working against a 5'8" cornerback. Steve Young sees the defender in front of him. He's going to put him where his 6'4" receiver can get it. Does he come down in bounds if he's not pushed? I'm not even sure if it really would have mattered if he hadn't been pushed. His momentum was going out of bounds. He had the first, but he never would have gotten the second.
Now Jerry Rice is urging the crowd to make some noise while this confrontation continues. The initial call was no catch, that he was out of bounds. Here's Walt Coleman.
We've ruled it was an overt act by the defender, forcing the receiver out of bounds. Touchdown.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Well, I can hear the theme of Jim Mora's halftime talk to these Indianapolis Colts. Guys, you got off to a good start. Now they're trying to give it to them. Don't let them do it. Don't make the mistakes. I think that's two bad calls back-to-back, enabling the 49ers to score that touchdown.
Stokes gets credit for the touchdown. Steve Young has now thrown 16 touchdown passes less than halfway through the season. Richie's extra point is up and good. Mariucci is happy. Not the same scene on the Colts sideline. J.J. Stokes on the sideline. It was Stokes who's given credit for the touchdown catch.
And what you have to say is an overt act by the defender is if he hadn't have pushed him, he'd have come down. He catches it. The contact. I still don't think that he'd have come down with both feet in if he's not pushed right there. I mean, whether if Poole's the one that gets the shot in there that makes the difference, or if Monty Montgomery's shot makes the difference, I think he gets one leg in and never gets a chance to get the other one down.
Now Stokes gets the touchdown grab, and the 49ers shave another 7 off the margin. They now trail by 11. At one point it was 21.
They talk about cornerbacks and quarterbacks having to have amnesia when bad things happen. If you're an Indianapolis Colt right now, you got to forget about the last 2 things.
Nice kick. Really nice kick. That one is 8 yards back. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Keith Elias makes the grab. Well, the 49ers moved into position, and it appeared the Colts had made the plays.
And this was a big play by Jeff Burris working against Terrell Owens. They're calling that hand on the left-hand side of Terrell Owens as holding against Burris, calling back the interception, and an overt act by the defender. Does he come down without the push? It don't matter, but I don't think so.
Manning out of the shotgun. Comes in the right behind Harrison, the intended receiver, who's got 2 touchdown catches today. NASDAQ halftime report coming up with Jim, Marcus, Brent, and George. Scores and highlights coming up.
I can't wait to hear George's and Brent's takes on exactly what we've seen going on here in this football game, and how a team like San Francisco can come out and really played and act the way they have. People thought 2 weeks ago against Buffalo was a fluke. This might show it wasn't.
2nd and 10. Harrison starts in motion. Manning flips it out, incomplete. Intended for Torrance Small, number 87. But the 49ers had pressure on Manning that time.
And that's what sets that up for Peyton Manning. He's looking down the field. He's got Harrison open, and he had Payton open. But the pressure in his face made him throw the ball just into the let's get it away from him.
Think back to the opening moments of the game, and the Colts had to use 2 timeouts. So they burned too early. They have only 1. And if you're thinking 49ers, they have all 3 left. If they get a stop here, they'll have Steve Young and Jerry Rice and a lot of time. Manning pressured. Chris Dolman was there. Flag is thrown. Walt Coleman. Intentional grounding. Chris Dolman, whose mother and father are making their first trip ever to California to see him play today.
Intentional grounding. Number 18 of the offense. Spot foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
Look at the pressure from Chris Dolman. And that ball is so far removed from Marshall Falk, the halfback, who's over on the other side of the offensive tackle, that Walt Coleman, our referee, just doesn't buy the fact that he can qualify as being in the general vicinity. The great pressure by Chris Dolman.
Gardocki waits for the snap from Banta. Return is on. Here's Gardocki's punt. Nice and high. McQuarters waits for it and grabs it at the 40. Back to the 50. Watch out. 42-yard line. So the 49ers, after that 20-yard return, come back on the field with 1:28 to go in the half and 3 timeouts remaining. Monday, one doctor is about to get the shock of his life. His ex-wife may have cancer, and the doctor she's chosen to save her life is not him. It's his partner. A powerful new episode of LA Doctors Monday on CBS. 21-10, 1:28 to go before the break. And here come the 49ers again.
Speaking of doctors, with 3 timeouts, this can get them awfully healthy getting points right here. And they're thinking touchdown.
Backs are split behind Steve Young. Play fake. He goes right, has a man wide open, as Burris had played off by 4 or 5 yards off J.J. Stokes. Gain of 12.
You know, as a football fan, there's one thing I hate to see at the end of the half or the end of a game. Look at that pad. Look how I mean, that looks like the old prevent. You know, obviously there's like a cover 3 going on there. He's a little soft on the corner, but don't be soft with 1 minute and 24 seconds against this kind of an offense. If Steve Young thinks you're playing soft, he will throw one right into the middle of your heart.
Hurst is the man split top of your screen. Stokes is the man in motion out of the backfield. Young under some pressure, puts it up. Now he'll scramble. And he is down at the 21-yard line. That might be enough for a fresh series of downs as Tim Houck makes the tackle. Timeout. San Francisco. Again, they had all 3, so they use 1 here. And that stops the clock with 68 seconds to go before the break. '49ers have 2 timeouts remaining and a 1st down and 10, trailing by 11. And momentum.
Exactly. And what this 49er offense wants to do right now with this defense, as they're sensing a little hesitation on the defense's part to create more confusion. There's no offense better in the league with crossing receivers and freeing up one guy wide open.
Jerry Rice, bottom of the screen to the left. Young with a quick count. Comes into the flat, and it's picked off by Levy, who is then hit immediately, and the clock will continue to run. Monty Montgomery, who is the guy who was called for the overt act on J.J. Stokes, makes the tackle there. The overt act being pushing him out of bounds before he made the grab.
Sounds like something you go before a judge.
I know it. I hope that's not a felony. 4 wide receivers now. Stokes top of the screen. 2nd and 9. Flag. Illegal procedure.
Clock,
San Francisco.
The clock ran out on Steve Young.
Ball start. 72 of the offense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Jamie Brown.
Steve Mariucci watches his left tackle, Jamie Brown, make a critical mistake. He had a rough game 2 weeks ago against Buffalo and was part of the problem with the mistakes and the false starts and whatnot. And I'll mention again the fact that I think Kirk Strafford is going to be playing an offensive line for the 49ers here in a couple weeks because he's a veteran, because he doesn't make those kind of mistakes.
Here's Coleman.
10 seconds.
We'll reset the clock to 26 seconds, please. We'll run 10 seconds due to the false start with the clock running. Reset the clock to 26 seconds.
Inside the 2-minute warning. So they will allow 10 seconds to unravel and reset it at 26.
And you see the real impact of a dumb mistake. That is not a missed assignment. That is not a mental mistake.
2nd and 14. Young, right side, caught by Stokes. Open field, Burris drags him down at the 15. And time is called by the 49ers. They had 2 left. Now it's down to 1.
30-second timeout.
A 30-second timeout.
And one thing, it's a missing ingredient in this 49er offense, and we've seen a couple of downs here of 4 wide receivers. It pains me to say this, but this team misses a Brent Jones. Steve Young misses a Brent Jones, somebody to threaten the middle of the field, somebody that really has always been a key in this offense as the tight end. We don't see him throw to the tight end.
Why would it pain you to say that?
Because he'd enjoy it so much.
Brent's coming up at halftime. I enjoyed the chat with Steve Young and Brent Jones. Did you see him playing catch in the?
It was a veritable love fest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Did you notice how Steve Young was throwing the ball right-handed?
Yeah.
I talked to him about that earlier. He goes, "Hey man, it's for TV." Glad you noticed.
As a basketball player in the NBA once said, "Hey man, I've been amphibious all my life." 3rd down. Back split. Here's Young, tipped into the end zone. Flag is thrown. The ball picked off by Blackman, who slides down. So a lot of things going on. Andre Royal tipped the ball.
There was an awful lot of contact down the field from the Indianapolis defense.
Holding Colts.
And the hold must come before the ball is tipped, because when the ball's tipped, so all bets are off.
Holding. Number 34 of the defense. 5 yards. Automatic 1st down.
Now, Monty Montgomery is having an adventurous first half.
There's Monty Montgomery working right there against Terrell Owens. That's just sort of a quick wrap. That is not, that's not even impeding. I mean, that is not pass interference. That is interpreting things way too tight.
2nd defensive holding call in the last 5 minutes.
You're going to be hesitant to make a mistake. You got to remind them it can happen both ways.
1st and goal. Young lets it go as he is hit, and Montgomery is back there defensively to knock it away. Tony McCoy was the man who put the pressure, and now Derek Deese limping as he walks away from the collision.
But Tony McCoy just broke through clean and quick and right in Steve Young's face, and There's something that this 49er team cannot afford to have happen. See 71 Ruman coming into the game. The youngster for Derek Deese. Deese lined up at that right tackle, but watch Tony McCoy working against Kevin Gogan. He beats Gogan cleanly inside, and it's McCoy's legs that whip around and hit Derek Deese.
Second down and goal, 7 seconds to go in the half. Rice to the left. Young looks right in the end zone. Caught. Terrell Owens. Burris beaten on the play. Second touchdown throw for Steve Young here in the first half. He's got 17 for the season.
Niners have been able to take advantage of every mistake that's been called against the Colts defense.
Wade Ritchie with the extra point. Terrell Owens gets his third touchdown grab of the season.
We saw this matchup earlier between Burris and Owens. Just a good quick move driving into the receiver. I tell you, I love that by Terrell Owens. Drove right into the cornerback, made Burris hesitate and stop, and cut quickly away and got the ball from Steve Young.
42 yards, 6 plays. And congratulations. Colts jumped out to a 21-0 lead. They scored on their first 3 possessions of the game. The 49ers have now scored on 3 in a row and have cut the margin to 21-17 with 3 seconds to go before the break.
Yeah, whether you like the penalty calls or not that have been called against the Colts here down in the 49er red zone area, the bottom line really is the mistakes early were made by the 49ers. The mistakes now for the last 3 or 4 minutes on the clock have been made by the Indianapolis Colts.
Lamont Warren waits for the kickoff. We've got 3 seconds to go before the break. 21-17 Indianapolis. They come in 1-5, and Jim Mora's team jumped out to that 21-zip lead. They've seen all but 4 points evaporate.
Jim Mora will be chewing some zebra on the way
in. Short kick. Morrison down at the 32. But he is down as time expires. That's the end of the first half. Our score, Indianapolis 21, the 49ers 17. There's a little zebra for dinner. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, George Seifert. I'll get you caught up on all the latest NFL news. Plus, that's all coming up after Jim Mora has dessert.